Great morning, great morning, great morning. You guys come on in, come on in, come on in. Let me go ahead and share. Y'all come on in, come on in. Great morning, April. Good to see you, gorgeous. Great morning, great morning, great morning. Let me let my hair down now. I done finished my workout. She was in the gym. Got it in, made it happen, hunty. Listen, Linda, listen. It's real. Y'all come on in. Make sure you let me know who's here, where you're tuning in from, and share this video. Apple cider vinegar ginger gummies. These things are fire. I like them better than I like the regular apple cider vinegar ones. They're really good. They got a little kick to them. Got a little chili pepper in it. I like that kick. Y'all come on, come on. And share. I know, April. I'm going to put them away from me. You ain't got to say nothing, girl. I'm going to put them away. So I can't get them. They are not a snack. Oh, my goodness. I got to get my biotin in. I already know. I already knew what was coming. Have you seen me pick the bottle up again? I'm not. You saw the title of this message, Get It Together. Okay, I'm getting it together. You all let me know who's here, where you're tuning in from, and share this video. Hey, LaShawanda, how are you, beautiful? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm heading to the TPA this week. Super excited to get in and see my folks in Tampa. Spend a little time in Florida. Hey, cousin, how are you? All right. Did y'all share? Let me know you shared. Put shared in the comments if you shared. Put shared in the comments if you shared. Let me know. Amen, beautiful. Press, honey. Press. This is the time to press. This is not the time to faint. It is the time to press, okay? Thank you, April. Thank you, beautiful. Appreciate you. Normally, I do my routine before I go work out. I didn't this morning. I don't know why, but I didn't. Thank you, Nisi. Good morning, beautiful Corey. All right, y'all. Now, listen. Let me tell y'all something. Yesterday, I talked about that God said that it was a time for accelerated increase. Accelerated increase means increase is coming, and it's coming in an accelerated fashion. It means it's going to come quickly, right? It's going to be like, yeah, expect that right there. And I told you guys it's time to get ready, but listen, you got to get it together. Look, let me tell y'all something. Yo, we got to stop blaming everything and the world for where we find ourselves in our lives. We've got to stop. We got to get it together. Got to get it together. Y'all see, I said we, right? So we got to get it together. See, there's no more time for all these excuses for why you can't do something to change your life. Just something. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to totally fix everything, but you got to do something. Get it together and stop relying on the crutch of what had happened in the past, what your parents did or didn't do in the past, what your siblings did or didn't do in the past, what your husband or boyfriend or wife or girlfriend did or didn't do in the past. Y'all listen, come on now. Can we just get it together? Can we get it together? I'm talking about for real, for real. Can we really be honest and assume full responsibility for wherever we find ourselves? Full responsibility. Listen, God, my response to things that have happened to me have landed me exactly where I am right now in this moment. And I assume full responsibility for my response. I'm not saying it's your fault that they did what they did or did not do to you, right? But what I am saying is your response is your responsibility. Assume full responsibility for your response. And your response leads to another response or consequence. And now look, here is where you are. And if you do not like where you are, stop complaining about where you are and change the one thing that you can change. You. You can't change nobody else. And you may not be able to instantaneously change your circumstances. But what you can change is you in your circumstances. Get it together. Get it together. Now, I can go work out today, and it's not going to automatically change how much I weigh, my body structure. It's not going to automatically change it. But guess what will happen? If I assume full responsibility for where I am right now in this moment, as it relates to my health, my size, my weight, my muscle tone, if I assume full responsibility, then I have full ability to change it. You can't change something that's not yours. You can't. If you do not assume responsibility, then you will forever find a reason, an excuse, a rationale for why you are where you are. But can I just tell somebody? I just want to tell somebody, I want to let someone know, when you assume full responsibility for where you find God, I assume full responsibility for my role and where I am right now, even if all you did was say yes to God. I said yes to God, and this is where I am. Because sometimes when you say yes to God, you'll be in some places, you'll be like, what? Huh? This is what my yes meant? This is what my yes brought me yes? So instead of complaining about it, if you gave God a yes and your yes to God landed you in a situation that is less than optimal in your eyes, then you need to know that God has got something in store for you on the other side of what you're looking at as less than optimal. So imagine this, change your perspective. When you change your perspective and how you see things, then you can change how you show up in it. Look, in January of this year, okay? Now listen, first of all, let me just say this. I was in the gym, and normally when I'm in the gym, I got my earbud in, I get on the treadmill, I'm walking, I'm listening to my music, and I'm reading, right? So I set up to do what I normally do, okay? There was a man that was standing next to me. He was on the treadmill. He was already working. I was like, good morning. Y'all know how I do. Good morning. He said, good morning. I was like, I see you're already at it. He was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're talking. And as we talk, we begin having a real conversation. And he asked me, well, how did you end up in Colombia? And I said, well, it's a long story. And I began to tell the story. Now, listen to me. I did not choose to have a biological daddy that I didn't know about. I didn't choose that, right? I didn't choose that. But God, in his infinite wisdom, okay, allowed everything that has transpired in my life to transpire to get me to the point where I was last year when I went and got my first daddy. and brought him to Tampa. And even in going through taking care of him and all of that, right? And then God, in his infinite wisdom, chose for it to be revealed to me in January of this year that I had a biological father, siblings, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews, cousins that I knew nothing about. So look, this is the thing. The man said something to me. He said several things that kind of stood out to me. This is our first real conversation, but he says, it seems like you have an adventurous spirit. And I do. I've always had an adventurous spirit. Like when I would read books, I would read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and imagine myself going through the wardrobe into other worlds, right? I would watch movies and I would imagine myself traveling the world and going to all these places. You see, very early on in my life, I knew that I was supposed to touch foreign soil. I knew that I was supposed to travel. I knew that I was supposed to live a lavish life, even though it didn't look like it. Understand this. I was living in a 3-room house with no indoor plumbing, and yet I'm imagining myself in London in a flat, right? I'm imagining myself flying and cruising and doing all of those things. Have I done all those things yet? I've done some of them, but not all of them. But this is the point that I want to make to you. God knows exactly what we need and when we need it, and his plans never fail. And it's always better than what we would pick, right? It's always better than what we would do. So listen, so as I'm talking to the man, I start to get a little emotional, and I get emotional because I'm thinking about the infinite wisdom of God. How God has ordered my steps to have me right where I am right now so that I can say exactly what I'm saying to you from personal experience. You see, I know what it's like for your yes to God to lead to you being homeless. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to your yes to God to have people make a mockery of you. I know what that's like. I know what it's like for your yes to God to have people looking at you and laughing at you and lying on you and making jokes about you and disrespecting you. I know what that yes to God can lead to. Do I regret my yes to God? Not at all. Not one of my yeses do I regret. I don't regret a single yes to God, not a single thing that I've experienced. Do you know why? Not because it was easy, not because it didn't cost me anything, not because it wasn't painful, but because it has led me to grow and to be strengthened and my muscles to be built up and my ability to endure to be increased. Baby, let me tell you something. Listen, there is no demon in hell that I'm scared of. I am not scared of you. When I tell you that all that you've experienced in your yes to God is designed to work for you and not against you, it's not going to kill you. Okay? Now, you might feel some type of way. Your feelings might be hurt. You might go through some stuff, but it's not designed to kill you. And if it does not kill you, then it is designed to strengthen you. And if it is designed to strengthen you, why are you bitter about what God sent to prepare you for where he's taking you to? How are you bitter about that? Because he wants to know that your muscles are built up, that you can endure, that you can withstand, that you can sustain when he gives you all that he desires to give you. I can give my granddaughter the keys to my car, but because she doesn't know how to drive, she hasn't grown enough to be able to reach the pedals, she doesn't know how to handle the steering wheel, it becomes a weapon in her hands. So that's not wisdom. So you think the God of the universe, the Alpha and the Omega, is going to give you the keys to something that will kill you if you're not ready? No, if you got to go through whatever you got to go through to get you ready, to get you built up, that's what you're going to go through. Every single thing in your life is designed to work for you. It's designed to work for you. You think God out here just trying to mess your life up? God, if you would have just let me, you don't know what would have happened. Listen, I remember being mad at God. Yeah, I get mad at God. I don't know about y'all. I know y'all so perfect. Y'all never have aught with God, but I was pissed at God. Okay, I said pissed. I meant what I said. I was pissed at God because, listen, I remember being on my journey, right? Okay. I was practicing celibacy. I wasn't celibate. I was practicing celibacy 90-day increments. But anyway, on the journey, I had met this man. This man was pursuing me. I was like, no, you know, you're not my type. Like, I don't even like light skin like that. No, you too antagonistic. You want to argue and debate. No, I am not interested. And I remember him just pursuing, like, what? Can you stop? Right. But listen, let me tell you something. I remember having a dream. And in my dream, I saw me and this man get married. I saw the kiss and I jumped up. I was like, what? And I said, oh no. And God said, that's your husband because he cares for you. I said, what? So I called him and I said, oh my God, I just had this dream. It was so crazy. And this is what happened. He said, I told you was my wife. I just been waiting for you to hear from God. What? Now listen, now y'all may say, well, Dr. V, if he knew you were his wife and God told you that was your husband because he cares for your heart, why are y'all not together? Listen, listen, whatever God's plan was, he did what he needed to do in the situation. Okay. So look, this is what I want y'all to understand. I remember about 2 weeks after we got married, and listen, I knew it was God because everything fell into place. Like literally God was like, go to the Salvation Army. And I'm like, what? So I went to the Salvation Army. I walk in the Salvation Army, but I have no idea where to go right now. At this point, we had decided we were getting married. I said, well, maybe it's some suits in here for the boys, like, I don't know what's going on. Right. So I'm just following God. And so I'm looking at this. And then he says, go look at the gowns. I'm like, okay. So I go look at the gowns and I find this amazing, beautiful wedding dress, right? I mean, this was an exquisite wedding dress. I know this dress was so expensive, right? And I look at it and it was $50. I'm like, what? And so I put the dress on and the dress fit me like it was made specifically for me. Okay. And I said, okay, God. So I got the dress, right? I got the dress fit. We had a whole wedding. I sent text message invitations out and the church was full. We didn't send any formal. I'm talking about text messages. I'm getting married. Hope you can make it, right? Church full, cake beautiful, amazing ceremony. Yet it ended. And you may say, well, Dr. V, why are you excited about that? Listen, God has taught me that my journey is one that is very uncommon, but it's one that always does what it's supposed to do, right? Even if it doesn't end the way I think it's going to end. In that marriage, I got some strength and some fortitude and an appreciation for the struggles of women in abusive relationships. I came to understand and have compassion and grace in a way that I did not have previously. I grew in my resolve to be who God has called me to be, no matter what, no matter who. Like there were so many lessons that I learned and amazing people that I met in that marriage. Like there were things that could have only happened in the context of that marriage. So do I regret it? I absolutely do not. I know that there were things that that man took away from that marriage and that experience that grew him, shaped him, molded him, and helped him to see some things differently. Okay. And I was able to see that I really am a Proverbs 31 woman, even if I'm not the one that's always in the kitchen cooking. That's not me. So, but God showed me some things. He showed me some things that I needed to see. Y'all need to stop despising the experiences that don't end the way you want them to end. Just because it didn't come out the way that you wanted to didn't mean that God didn't know how it was going to come out. God knew before he told me that man cared about my heart, exactly how that situation was going to end, and he said it anyway. Do y'all hear me? We want to despise the things that are uncomfortable, that hurt. And there was a lot of pain in that marriage, a lot of pain, right? But there was also good that came out of it. See, we just want to look at the negative and stay stuck in the negative. That's how we get bitter, right? To this day, I still have love for him, right? I want the best for him. I wish him the best. I want the best for him and everything that is attached to his life. I want him to fulfill the purpose of God for his life, right? Even though we didn't work. And the same is true for every man that I've ever been married to. Now look, this is the beauty. I've had the opportunity to learn a lot of lessons, but what I knew this time was that I had to get it together. I had to figure out what that thing is in me that I need to work on and let God fix and do my part in. I had to get it together because I was the common denominator. Now, I'm not saying that these men were horrible men and it was all their fault. Hear me when I say this. What I'm saying is that every relationship had its purpose. And at the end of the day, the purpose was for God to reveal to me the things in me that I need to work on, the things in me that are lacking and that were deficient, that I was searching for and seeking. And yet I could not find. Why? Because what I needed was not outside of me, it was inside of me. And so as I've been on this journey, I've just simply had to freaking get it together. Stop bemoaning your process. That's why that man could look at me and say, he said, well, you seem like you've handled it well. I've learned to roll with the punches. I've learned to go with the flow. I had to learn that God is not stuck and stagnant. He's not in a box, and his ways are not our ways, and his thoughts are not our thoughts. And so therefore, listen, let me get out God's way and let God be God in this situation. And so as I've done that, it allows me to say, okay, what is it that I need to get together? It's easy to look at other people and point out what they need to do, the things they need to fix, the things that they need to rectify. Oh, that's easy. But can you do that for you? Can you look at you and dig deep enough to really get to the root? See, you got to get to the root and then get rooted. Get to the root and then get rooted. See, once you get to the root and you can deal with what's at the root, then you can get rooted in your DNA and who you are. See, you got two sets of DNA. You got your biological DNA and you got your God DNA. I've talked about this before. Listen, the biological DNA will establish some predispositions that you have. When you're born, will establish some predispositions. It doesn't establish your destiny. It just establishes some predispositions. Okay? But your God DNA determines who you are for real, at your core. And your God DNA supersedes everything else. Everything else has a purpose. It has a purpose. But you got to understand that there's some stuff that you need to stop fighting and start addressing. You see, I made some decisions and some declarations. And I decided that I will not go through another season of not breaking all the way through and getting everything that God has for me, including the husband that God has for me, the lifetime husband, the lifetime mate, forever, ever, him. But I will not be able to sustain it, and it will not sustain if I, did y'all hear what I said? I don't get together the things that I need to get together. And do you know what's beautiful about it? I know I don't have to do it by myself. I know that God is working with me. And so what I do is I say, okay, God, I submit myself to you. God, guide me to what I need in order for me to get it together. Show me what's going on with me. Show me why this cycle exists in my life. Show me. And so God began to show me. He began to show me through my biological DNA. And then he began to talk to me in my God DNA. See, listen, understand something. When I met my daddy answered a lot of questions. Yeah, Mike, you said that's your song to a couple of forevers. Listen, my daddy made me make sense All of a sudden, I made sense. I understood as I looked at my genealogy. I understood. Like, some of this stuff didn't start with me. The multiple marriages, the kids with different daddies. It didn't start with me. But do you know what? What it can do is stop with me. I can stop the generational cycles. I can stop them because they're rooted in some things that flow through our biology and our biological DNA, which gives us these predispositions. It doesn't mean it has to be, but it just means you're predisposed this way, right? Predisposition means that you're likely to go in that direction. If there's a default, you're going to go in that direction. Okay. So in the absence of you going in the default, you got to get it together so that you can go a different direction, because it goes against your natural disposition, your natural predisposition. But it doesn't go against your nature, because your nature is your God DNA. I'm just trying to help somebody today. It's time to get it together. So making those decisions changed my life. Learning how to get in God's flow changed my life. And I didn't always get it right, and it wasn't always perfect. But what I did was I said, God, help me and guide me. You ain't got to be perfect, but you got to do something. You got to do something. If you keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, that is the definition of insanity. So why not try something different? Why not get to the root so you can get rooted? Get to the root so you can get rooted. We're out here putting Band-Aids on symptoms, treating the symptom like it's the cause, but it's not. It's just a symptom of something that's much deeper. And when you get to the root, then you can pull up the root and then get rooted in your God DNA. I love my sister and brother, Dr. Michael and Samantha Phillips, because, in talking to them, it reminds me of some things. God will put people in your life representing your spectrum, right? You'll have the people that you connect to based on where you've been. You'll have the people that you can connect to based on where you are. And you'll have the people that you can connect to based on where you're going. And you need all three sets of people in your life, right? All three sets are a necessary part of your life, because you need to be reminded of where you've been. You also need to be able to know where you are. And you also need to be able to see where you're going. All three are important. But listen, can I tell y'all something? You can't get so comfortable with the people from where you were and where you've been that you don't appreciate and enjoy where you are. And you can't get so uncomfortable in where you are that you won't push and stretch to get to where you're going. If you're not stretching, you're dying. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're stuck and stagnant, you're dying. Anything stagnant is dying. You got to get it together and choose life. Choose life in your words, choose life in your actions, and life in your thoughts. Because if you think death, death comes more quickly. But if you think life, then life becomes more alive and awake and real for you. I refuse. I'm talking about me. I refuse to die out here and not fulfill my purpose. The devil is a lie. No, my purpose will be fulfilled. The generational curses will be broken. And my grandchildren won't have to go through the stuff that I went through. I'm determined. And my great-grandchildren will have legacy already established for them. Now, it's up to us what we do with this life that we've been given. It's not going to all be pretty. It's not going to all be easy. If it was, we'd have no muscle. What? You can't lift and carry the weight that God has called you to if you won't allow yourself to build some muscle. And muscle requires resistance. It requires the breaking down of the muscle and the rebuilding of it. That's what I'm talking about. Get it together. Stop thinking this thing's supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Why y'all buying this? Oh, poor me. Woe is me. I'm just da-da-da-da-da-da. What the what? Come on, y'all. We got to do better. Thank you, man of God. Carlos said, good morning, preacher. I love your teddy bear in the back. Listen, so this is not my teddy bear. This is my daddy bear. Okay? And Daddy Bear travels with me, and I'm going to tell you why Daddy Bear is on this bed, okay? When I went to live with my daddy, when I got there, he had this teddy bear waiting for me. Balloons, the teddy bear, like he had a whole setup for me. He was able to do something for me that he didn't get to do when I was a baby, when I was a little girl. Like literally, God took me on a journey so that my daddy could do things for me that I would have gotten in my natural evolution of my life had he been there. And I love this bear. And people might say, well, you too big to have a teddy bear. Okay, that's what you think. But listen, this is my daddy bear. It's my reminder that my daddy is always with me, that he is a comforter, that he's here for the hugs and the love, that his presence is always there, and that I'm loved. Think about it. God loved me enough that even after I lost my daddy who raised me, he gave me my biological daddy to fill the gaps and to do the things that I always wished my daddy who raised me had done. You see, I'm not missing anything. See, that's the kind of love God has. So when people talk about, oh, this is so horrible, I can't believe this has been the greatest blessing ever. Because God has filled the holes and the gaps. And that's why I say his plan is always better than our plan. Was it uncomfortable? Was it inconvenient? Was it challenging? Did it get hard? Absolutely. But everything about my life, I appreciate it and I value it. Everything has purpose. And when you understand that, then you'll stop. Stop what, Dr. V? You'll stop sabotaging your life because of what you didn't or what someone woulda, shoulda, coulda. Come on. Listen, God is not in the woulda, coulda, shoulda. He's in the embrace the moment and know that I'm working it out for your good. Everything about your life. Everything. Yes, Carlos, that's how I feel. Oh, yes, Stacy, it is beautiful. Carlos said, very nice, understood. My daddy bear has been in my car to remind me of my father. Oh, Carlos. Praise God for daddies. Yes, y'all, yes. And even if you don't know your daddy, I encourage you to get to the root of it. There's so much in our roots, so much in that DNA story that God wants to reveal to you. And we miss it. We miss it because we don't want to know. We don't want to stir stuff up. We don't want to whatever. But I'm telling you, you got to get to the root of it. And then we have to stop sabotaging ourselves. Well, I can't do this because, I didn't have da 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 da. That's the victim. Stop being a victim. Or focusing so much on just accomplishing that you never see your value outside of your accomplishments. So you're never satisfied. You're always looking for the next thing to accomplish. Self-sabotage is real. These saboteurs are real. And the more I listen to people tell their stories, the more I recognize those self-sabotaging behaviors that keep showing up repeatedly, which is why I'm doing the No More Sabotage workshop. Listen, this class is designed for you to get it together, for you to identify what are your self-sabotaging behaviors and begin to address them and kill them off. The Lord told me that the giants you see today, you'll never see again. See, that's what we got to do. We got to kill off these giants so that we never see them again, so that they never, like destroy us again. So when they try to pick their head up, you're like, chop it off, right? So that they leave you alone, okay? And you can kill them once and for all so that you can have the success, the life, the love, the everything that God wants you to have. Time out for resolutions, time out for dealing with the symptoms. It's time to get to the root so that you can get rooted. Get to the root so that you can get rooted. And at the root of a lot of our problems is that self-sabotage that at one point worked for us, but then started working against us. And if it's working against us, it's time to kill it. Dead. Look, the people that went through the class on Sunday night, listen, Sunday afternoon, but I'm trying to tell you, like when I tell you they're so focused, they're so clear on what they've got to do that it is blowing their minds. Like their energy is different. They're moving different. They're having conversations that they hadn't had before. Like there's a clarity that is just like awe-inspiring. Listen, I'm telling y'all what they telling me, and they'll tell you for themselves. But there's another class tonight, and we've got a few spots left, and I promise it is just a few spots left. But we got a few spots left. Listen, it's $75 individual, $100 if you do the VIP, which includes a 1-hour individual session with me where we can deal with anything that you want to deal with, right? You can't beat that because my 1 hour is like $100, okay? But it's $100 for the class and the VIP. If you do it with two people, if it's two people, you can get it for $125 and the VIP for $175. You can use Afterpay, break it up into 4 installments, pay it every 2 weeks so that you don't have to be overwhelmed with what it costs, okay? But I'm going to tell y'all this. It's time to get it together. And if you've been struggling trying to figure out what is the issue, this class will show you what your issues are. Now, listen, when you talk about getting to the roots, these saboteurs, these are the root, right? These are those demons that desire to hold you back, right? So it's not just about the spiritual realm. It's about how these particular things and behaviors keep showing up in your life to derail you every time you get close. Have you ever thought about that? How every time you get close to breaking through, it seems as though the same kinds of things keep showing up. Kill it. Kill it. But you can't kill what you can't identify. And I don't know about you, but I know that I've been in churches where they've laid hands and they've prayed and listen, it was good for a minute. But because I didn't have the tools and I was not equipped to kill that thing, pull it up, kill it, and keep it gone, I couldn't continue. I couldn't maintain it. I'm telling y'all, I'm not because it's me, because I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm not teaching the class. God is teaching this class. Everything that I've been sharing, the way I did the class, everything, God directed that stuff. Like I had a plan in my mind and God was like, no, I want you to do this. I was like, okay. I wanted to have a little PowerPoint. God said, no, I need you to do this. I just need you to follow me right now. Follow me and let me do what I need to do in these people's lives. And that's what I did. This is my sister, y'all. She said, the class has taught me how I sabotage myself. Now I'm focused on the problem. Yes, sister, speak. She said, yes. Yes, he did. I'm telling you, there's the program that the man developed, right? But there's the God, the anointing, the prophetic that God tied into it, baby, that took it to another level. I'm talking about God was dropping revelation. I was in the class like, oh, that's deep. And we did this one exercise that really brought it home. And I was like, wow, God, it's not something I read, not something somebody told me to do. Like literally God said, have them do this. And I'm like, okay. And then when they started giving me their answers, I said, that's why. That's why you told me to do this deep. And it really helps you understand what's at the root. Listen, if you have not registered for this class, you want to register while I got a few seats left. I'm telling y'all, listen, don't worry about sowing no seed in me. Get this class so you can change your life and get it together. Go to https://bit.ly/no more sabotage, all lowercase. It's imperative that it all be lowercase. Okay, if you do anything other than all lowercase, it's not going to work. April said, the class charged me so much to kill those things that caused me to sabotage things in my life. Amen. Like I'm talking about, it is a supernatural charge. Y'all, I kid you not. I kid you not. And if you're going to do it, go ahead and do that VIP because you're going to want that hour because I promise you, when we get through the class, 2 hours is not enough. We usually go a little bit over. Okay, we went a little bit over. It was like 2.5. But what happened after that was you got so much on your mind. You got so much on your mind, and the stuff that you got on your mind, like you need to process it. And literally that's what we did in our VIP sessions. We began to process it. We began to talk about what's next. We began to talk about how to navigate it. We began to do all that. Take this class. If you're serious about getting it together, take this. Make it work. Make it work. Now, I know I just had someone, she asked me, she said, well, Dr. V, are you going to do another one? I said, I don't know. Why? I'm traveling this month. I'm traveling. I'm finishing up the pageant stuff. Like I got a lot on my plate this month. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do the class again, but I know I'm doing it tonight. That's what I can tell you. I'm doing it tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And listen, I'm going to tell y'all something about us. We make time and find money for anything that's important to us. I'm going to say it again. We make time and find money for anything that's important to us. Hey, man of God, how are you? Yashida said, my energy has been so high since the class. I'm telling y'all, when you get this, baby, it is a game changer. It is game over. I'm telling y'all, if you're serious about changing your life, getting it together, take this class. Make it work. Make it happen. Because what you make happen for you is going to, listen, let me tell you what's happened. Now, I haven't talked to Yashida yet, but I know that for me, for April, and for Ebony, we ended up having conversations with our children because suddenly we realized something. We realized that our saboteurs not only affected us, they affected how we parented. And there were some things that we took our kids through, expectations that we put. Now, listen, I was watching Bel Air and I was watching Aunt Viv, right? Watching Vivian. And I was watching her interaction with Hillary. And I saw Vivian's saboteur show up. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm looking at it. I'm like, ooh, okay, I see that's that high achiever right there. Oh, but when things got tight, listen, she wanted acceptance. And so, she avoided some issues and she did, like, I'm telling you, oh, she's a stickler. Look, and I watched Hillary and the conflict in that mother-daughter relationship manifest. And I watched the conflict between her and her sister. And I looked and I saw the saboteurs each of them had and how it affected y'all. It gave me such insight. It will help you to understand the conflicts in your relationships and it will help you address them. We all had conversations with our children, conversations where we were able to apologize to them for how our saboteurs negatively impacted them. And I know my daughter was so appreciative. She She said, "You mom, you making me cry." I was like, "No, seriously. I need you to understand how sorry I am, how much I regret that I put my stuff on you." And when my daughter did it, all her stuff was high. All her stuff was high. Well, no wonder, because I'm sure that my stuff was higher at another point. Let me tell you the other thing that we discovered. This remember me talking about that biological DNA? Listen to me. So, listen, this is serious. My number one was avoider. I had an 8.1. My sister had avoider at 8.1. My cousin had avoider at 8.1. All three of us had stickler as one of our saboteurs. I had stickler at 6.3. My sister had stickler at 6.3. And my cousin had stickler at 6.3. None of us grew up in the same house. Did y'all hear that? None of us grew up in the same house. But all of us had those two with exactly the same score. Coincidence? Nah. See, this is why we've got to begin to understand things. And as we understand them, matter of fact, let me see something real quick. I hope I can see this. I don't know if I can. I need some more cloud space. But let me see if I can. It's not in here. So I was going to look at my daughter's stuff and see what hers was. No, I don't have it in here. But I'm telling you, y'all, this is deep. Now imagine what we can do for our children if we can help them identify their saboteurs early on in their life, how we can prevent them from taking a long time to have success. Imagine what happens when we're aware of how these things affect our parenting and we stop parenting from a place of self-sabotage, right? And putting constraints on our children. My daughter said something to me, and I know she's telling the truth. She said, "I never felt like I could be me. I could just be me." And I was watching, as I was watching Bel Air, Hillary said the same thing. She said, "I never feel like I can just be me. I feel like I'm not enough." Now, let me tell you something about my daughter. My daughter ran away off and on for a year and a half. And I didn't understand it. Why are you running away? You got your own room. You got a game system. You got a phone. See, listen, it wasn't even about that. It was about the fact that she didn't feel like she could just be her because I was so concerned with appearance. I was so concerned with how people would look at her and how they would look at me. Okay. This is why we got to understand this stuff and kill it. It doesn't just affect us. It affects our children. It affects our grandchildren. It affects the generations. If you don't kill it, it's going to show up in your bloodline. I'll say it again. If you don't kill it, it's going to show up in your bloodline and it's going to continue. The greatest gift that I can give my children is killing my saboteurs. Greatest gift. And then helping them kill theirs. So it doesn't take them 55 years to figure it out. You want to do something for your children or your children's children or your children's children's children, or just for the people that are assigned to your life, take this class and get it together. Because God is calling us higher. I believe this is so key. And when we get it, it changes everything. You want to talk about slaying giants? Slay that giant. Slay the giants that sabotage you. Slay those. Because when you can slay those, everything else is open. Everything else is open to you. But you got to do it. Go to https://bit.ly/no-mo-sabotage. NOMOSABOTAGE. And let's begin to identify those things that have been holding us hostage and kill them off. Look, you guys, I pray that the word has been a blessing. Pray that you've gotten something from it. Again, I say, the greatest gift that you can give me is you taking this class so that you can get free. Okay? Look, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Hopefully, I'll see you tonight in No More Sabotage, because we killing all those saboteurs. They got to die. You gonna die today. You got to tell you gonna die today. This is real. And you'll see it. I'm telling you. Matter of fact, I'm doing the video. The one where it says, dear me, in the next 6 months, I'm doing that video today. Because in the next 6 months, 6 months from now, 3 to 6 months from now, maybe you're not going to recognize me. Get ready and prepare to be sick of me. I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic day. Be blessed. Mwah.